Angelo here. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back, viewers of my stream. So, guys, we've got another little thing here. So this is the Path of Exile, new and changed skill gems in Path of Exile, the Expedition. Alongside the 16 new skill gems, we're introducing in Path of Exile, Path of Exile Expedition. We're making a variety of changes to existing skill gems. As usual, we prepared the gem data at level 20 and 20% quality for all new and changed gems to help you plan your build for the upcoming launch. If you're looking for support gem information, you can find it here. Basically, support gems are all fucked. Don't even think about that. Think of maybe one or two things to add to that. You add any more than like a 4 slot, you're screwing yourself on overall damage. Just don't play as if you're always gonna have 6 link everything, because they're heavily nerfing that. So this one is the new gem, Absolution. It's a minion gem. Okay, duration, AoE physical, damages area in area. Okay. Huh. Interesting. 25% chance to summon a Sentinel of Absolution on hitting a unique enemy. Maximum 3 summoned Sentinels Absolution. Okay, so this is a new gem? Alright. Oh, Battle Mage's Cry. Performs War Cry taunting enemies, exerting subsequent attacks. Okay. Grants a buff which boosts critical chance and allows attacks to benefit from increased spell damage. Okay. Interesting. Oh, Battle Mage. So basically you're still hitting them. Gotcha. Bone Shatter. This is the one that Mono and I always make fun of, but it's like, I hit hard and it hurts. Oh, that's, yeah. Okay, yeah, cool. Defiance Banner. That thing's pretty cool. So, yeah, okay, so it does reservations. A light reservation. 10%. No problem. This, right? And then basically it just kind of... I don't know if any of you guys are Dota 2 fans, but it reminds me of, I can't even think of his name. But yeah, there's a character that puts an ion shield around himself. Let me know in the comments below if you remember what I'm forgetting. Rage Vortex. 20. Okay. Yeah, look at them, just beefing it all up. Rage Vortex. Huh. Oh, this is the spin, right? Spin a sword or axe. So you have to have that then. Alright. Kinda cool. Make you timber saw. Shield crush. I think it's pretty cool. I might have to luck with that. That thing's really cool. And ambush. Teleports you to a nearby enemy. Okay. Blinding them. Huh. Huh. Interesting. Ambush. Kinda cool. I might have to try that. I'll test that. Blade Trap. This is the one I wanted to use, but, like, I already did my Trapper last league for Ultimatum League, but, you know. Maybe eventually. We'll see. Explosive Concoction. Now, this is another one that's very interesting to me. Very interesting. Spectral Helix. That's the cool one. Okay. I was getting that confused with Shield Crush. Shield Crush is the one where you hit double. That's right. Storm Rain. That thing's just so fucking cool. Yeah, that's gonna be fucking dope. Alright. Hive Winter. I forgot what this one was, but cool. Hidden Right. Bond. Forbidden Right's the one where you hurt yourself, right? Yeah. And you can actually kill yourself by mashing that too hard. This Reaper is gonna be fucking awesome, dude. We're gonna see so many Reapers. And Voltaxic Burst. Cool. Show all differences. Oh, there we go. I like that. There we go. That's what you need to do. Okay, so yeah, buff. Hail, Earthquake. Buff. Right? Yeah, buff. Buff. Glacial Hammer. Ground Slash. Oh, nerf. Nerf on Ground Slam. Yeah, a little bit. Slams is creating a wave that travels in all directions that damages enemies and increased stun. The wave deals more damage to closer enemies. Requires an axe. Okay. Slams ground in front of you, creating a wave that travels in all directions. Damages and stuns enemies. Okay, so it doesn't stun. A chance to stun. This one used to always stun. Wave deals more damage to closer enemies. Yep, so used to always stun. Now you have a chance to stun. Interesting. Veil Cyclone. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, it's up. Yeah, buff. Veil. Are these all just Veil skills? Buff. Double strike, buff. Lightning strike. The Reeve also looks to be a buff. Spectral throw. Oh, so fire has added that, but it took away the projectiles in a circle. Huh. In each of 2 mirrored spirals. Can store 1 use, can store 3 uses. Okay. Throw several copies of your melee weapon, then fly out and return you in a spinning attack that damages enemies in their path. Says spectral copy of your melee weapon. In a spinning attack that strikes enemies in its path. Interesting. So it doesn't spot. So does it just go forward? Huh, weird. Veil Fireball. Fires 32 projectiles in a spiral. Fires projectiles in a spiral. Okay, so do they add it? I don't know if that's a buff or not. Looks like Flame Bass is a buff. Summons a totem, which uses this skill. Okay, that's good, right? Ancestral Protector, assuming? Or is Ancestral War Chief better? I don't... Either which way, they both got buffed. Blade Storm, that's a buff. Chain Hook's a buff. Cleave is a buff. Yep. Consecrated Path is a buff. Corrupting Figure. Triggering this skill still requires paying its cost. Oh, that doesn't. So it doesn't require to be paid. Interesting. Dominating Blow. Buff. Dread Banner. Ooh, okay. Nerf. Now only 1 Fortify. Per stage. Attack damage. Yeah, Earthquake. Buff. Earth Shatter, buff. General Cry, buff. Glacial Hammer, buff. Ground Slam, buff. Yeah, all these things are buffed. That's good. A couple of them are changed, but most of them, for the most part, are all buff. Molten Strike, Perforate. Reap, a new one. The Bloody Scythe swipes across a selected area, applying a physical damage over time debuff. In addition to hitting enemies with physical damage, if enemies survive, you gain a blood charge, which raises the damage and cost of the skill. Players can have 5 maximum blood charges. Before, it used to be swipes across a selected area, applying a physical damage debuff in addition to hitting enemies with physical damage. Same, if enemies survive this skill, and this skill was not triggered, you gain a... What? Raises the damage at the cost. Oh, so they kind of just... They made the same thing, but they just, I guess, made it sound a little more English. Seismic Cry exerted. Attacks deal... Oh, they removed these. So now you don't do 30 more damage and 20... Oh, damn. So, yeah, nerf. Seismic Cry, nerf. Shield Charge. Added. Attack time, 0.48 seconds. Is that good? Bad. Crit chance is 5%. Good. Base offhand crit strike chance is 5. Okay. So that's the same thing. 0.2%. Alright, so that's off. Okay, so they just cleaned it up a bit more. So AoE, movement, travel, physical, melee. Okay, so they added physical tag to it. Alright. And buff. What a buff, Jesus. And yeah, buff. Cool, sounds good. Next one we got Smite. That's a buff. Static, buff. Sunder, buff. Sweep, buff. Oh, smack the mic. Tectonic Slam, this thing is fucking awesome. But yeah. Buff. Vigilant Strike. I mean, I guess people use that. I could see you using that if you're like a archer. That would make more sense. That's buff. Artillery, Ballista. Yeah, honestly, a lot of these things are buffs. Blood Rage, Charge Dash. Yeah, even Charge Dash is a buff. Cyclone buff, dash, double strike, buff, dual strike. Looks like they added more words to this one, so now it's prismatic and bow, so they added that. Yeah. Oh, nerf. A slight nerf. A very, very slight nerf on the elemental hit. Were people using that thing? Weird. Explosive arrow, buff. Fire trap. Barely a buff? Barely? Like 0.8 higher? I mean, hey, 0.8 higher, still 0.8 higher. Cast, yeah, okay, that one, we read about that one during the last patch note. Flicker strike, oh yeah, that's a buff, Jesus. Crossblades, that's a buff. Lacerate, that's a buff. Oh, well done, well done. I see you there. What's up, Dave? Remove 29%, okay, so buff. God damn, what a buff. Okay, Jesus. Holy shit. Alright. Lightning strike, buff. Reeve, buff. Seismic trap. Now, this looks like it's a little different. Oh, what a buff. Oh, good buff. There's a trap which, once triggered, repeatedly releases a number of waves for the duration. Each wave deals damage in a series of small bursts in a line, ending in a large burst. Okay. Okay, so now just the modifiers. Wait. No. Trap throwing speed. Oh, this one was a cast speed. Interesting. Oh, yeah, so they kind of nerfed that. I get it. It makes sense, but whatever. Shattering steel, that's a buff. Smoke mine, they 57% increased. Oh, they took that away, so now it takes longer. Oh, damn. The old super lossy effect. Secondary, damn. 1 second, and the cooldown is hella long. Big time nerf when it comes to the good old smoke mine. Big time. And spectral shield throw. I think they just cleaned up the wording. Otherwise, for the most part, I see buffs. Except for this. The old one fired 13 additional projectiles. Now the new only fires 3. Eesh. Ow. And spectral throw, effectiveness of added damage 125%. Buff. Split arrow. On attack speed 110% of base. Even better. Nice, yeah. Buff. Good number of buffs right there. Whirling blades, buff. Wild. They added prismatic. Huh. Oh, that's anytime that you have like all affinities to it then. Right? I think that's what prismatic is. It's like, it has all of them. Cool. And now we are at the blue gems. We got Arcane Cloak. Looks like they're just adding some wordage to it. Yeah, so Arcane Cloak. So now it has Arcane to it. This one is a nerf. Yeah, that's a nerf for Bane. Didn't even know what it did, but that's a nerf. Oh, body swap. Damn, that kind of sucks. That's a nerf too. 300% to 200%. Consuming a corpse. Discharge is a buff. Firestorm. It's a slight buff, but hey, a buff nonetheless. Now here's another one that didn't get hurt that bad. Look at that. Flame Dash, only 3.5. Not bad, still 3 uses. The cast time went up by 0.1. Not that bad. This is probably the biggest one right here. Your cooldown recovery weight went from 57 to 29. So yeah, okay. It's still doable. It'll take a little longer. But hey, not everybody is used to waiting. Everybody gotta go fast. This is a pretty big nerf right here, Flame Wall. That must have been OP as fuck during last league, or the leagues before. Flame Blast, that's a buff. Hex Blast, 25% less area damage. Wait, removed? That's a buff. That's a buff, okay. Lightning Spire, buff. Throws a trap. Oh, I think the only thing is, like, higher chance to critically strike. Oh, no, that's it. Oh, yeah, the trap throwing speed. The other one was cast speed. Lightning Tendrils. Oh, that's a buff. Rolling Magma. Buff, yeah. That's a buff. Shock Nova. I used to use this on my first character, even though it was a Necro. Yeah, can you tell I didn't know how to play the game? I still don't. But yeah, Ring deals 50% less damage, has been removed, so now it still does the absolute amount it should. Sigil of Power. 10% increased mana cost. Oh, so that's a buff, right? Yeah, 10%. They removed that increased mana cost. Yeah, so, and now they're arcane. Anything I guess you stand still for, and then maybe like there's a circle that you have to stay in or something like that. Or you have to power. Not really channeling, but yeah, looks like that's arcane. So that's cool. Soul Ren looks like a buff. Yep. Spark. Added effectiveness, added damage. 100. That's a buff for Spark. And damage to Spark, good. Then Storm, Burst, buff, yeah. +2 to radius. Storm Call, buff. And Storm Bind. Yeah, just got the Arcane. And then last one, Phantasmal Earthquake. Added increases and reduction of spell also apply to attack damage from a skill at 50% of the value. And removes increases and reduction to spell so that we can apply to attack damage from the skill. Yeah. And then, guys, why is everybody always seeing so negative? But I don't know, man. I'm very interested in this. Would very like to see how to do it. I'm glad that they're showing you don't focus on 6 links. Don't focus on just having everything blow up in front of you. Support gems, I could look at that, but come on, guys. We already know. Just don't use that many. Don't use that money. Stick to like 3, 4. Or just 3. I think 4 link is a new thing, and then just link up 2 other things, and that'll be 1 item and linked up with 1 other support gem, and just be happy with it. Stop trying to go for that 6 link, because it just, obviously, it's not how they wanted you to play, and that's not what they expected out of you when they played this, so. There we go. That's the new and changed skill gems in Path of Exile Expedition. That'll be launching in a little less than a day and a half. Or wait, is it tomorrow? No, in a day and a half, yeah. So after tomorrow, it's the next day. So about a day and a half, give or take, 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. I'll be getting off work shortly right then and there. Hopefully I'll be able to jet down, and then, yeah. Hopefully it won't be that long, also, of getting into the servers, but there we go, guys. That is the Path of Exile Change Skill Gems. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Are you even going to play it? It looks like a lot of people aren't going to play it. If you're not, I mean, I get it. You know, you don't like change. You like Stewie. And, yeah. You don't like change. It's all good. If you are going to play it, let me know what you're thinking about. And, honestly, all these regular gems are all buffs. The thing that you're not going to get buffed on is your supports. Have fun. Play with more things than just having one thing and just having that maxed out to the whole thing. But whatever. Thank you guys very much for watching. And I'll see you guys out there. Later.
I don't like change!
Freeze! Who are you? What are you doing here?
Hold your fire! I'm a human!